I want to give you an overview about which company is behind WAVEEX. The company's name is Vital Energy. The two inventors, Helmut and Alfred Teuretsbacher, invented the chip years ago. It had been 5 years of development, and now the chip is already out here for about 3 years. 1 year in sales, and the 2 years before we did testing. The locations of Vital Energy are in Germany, in Austria and in Malta. The production itself also is in Austria. To demonstrate the power of WAVEEX, I want to start with a short story to give you a better understanding. If we look at this bridge, if we take this bridge for a short story, you can see it's built on solid ground, it has a stable construction, built of proven materials, you can run any traffic over it, and very important, it meets all legal regulation, so we can say this bridge is safe. If we take the bridge for our mobile technologies, the same things occur. There are regulation and standards. You can run any traffic you want to have, also data, and for sure there are a lot of legal regulations, especially the SAR value. We meet all these regulations, so we can say these mobile technologies are safe. So this is a perfect job. But why are there so many people complaining about that they don't like this bridge, that there's something wrong with this bridge? This can't be true, because we see no problems in there at all. If we have a different view to the bridge, we can see a problem, but not when we focused to the bridge only. So what does this mean for the bridge? It's quite simple. They did not finish this bridge. But what does this mean for our mobile technologies? This means that during the last 25 years, this project, mobile technologies, got bigger and more complicated. So there was the need to do specialization. And now we have a lot of specialists which are trying to optimize their part, but we do not have anybody left who has the whole picture. So what I want to say with this picture is, inside the mobile technologies, nobody is responsible for this missing link. This missing link is now provided by Vital Energy with the product technology WAVEEX. But what we are talking all about with WAVEEX is it's an enhancement to the technologies now up and running. All the mobile technologies now take care about high frequency, radio frequency. WAVEEX goes in the other direction. WAVEEX takes care about the R-thermic radiation. We do not touch the mobile technologies at all. So WAVEEX is really an enhancement. We are providing the missing link, a so-called, let's say, human interface, but not something to visualize. It's a direct interface to our organism. Before we come in detail what we are doing and how we are doing it, I have to give you some basics. If we look at the thermic radiation, You can see all regulations are met, so this technology is safe. No discussion at all. But for the athermic radiation, there is no regulation at all. No government regulation, most of the governments do not have it on the focus just right now. And if I read in here, already back in 2007, the European Environment Agency already claimed that athermic radiation disrupts the communication of the cell, the exchange of the signals of the cell. And this will cause troubles, already back in 2007. And this was one of the key points why Vital Energy decided to look for a solution for that area. In the thermic area, there are already more than enough players trying to make it safer and safer and safer. We decided for the athermic corner. Thermic radiation. Thermic radiation means or has something to do with power. It covers all the speech and technical frequencies, and scientists say that there are really only minor thermic effects and as good as no biological effects, as long as the boundary values are respected. The thermic effects are proportional to SAR value. That means the stronger the intensity of the signal, the stronger is the effect. Biological effects caused by thermic radiation are not proportional to SAR values. These are studies back in 2004 and 2008, so I hope you don't mind it's getting too hot in here. If we have a look on this right picture, left picture, you see the reflex study back in 2004 done by Professor Adelkofer and his team. And there you can see we have here the boundary value of 2 watts. The influence to DNA string breaks at 0.2 watts and 3 watts are quite the same. But the problem occurs at 0.1 watt. So now there are a lot of competitors who claim reducing this SAR value. If they reduce the SAR value from 2 watts down to 1.3 watts, no good job. Why does this occur? Scientists say that at this intensity the cell is already attacked, but it does not recognize it. The stronger the signal gets, the earlier it detects the attack and it can start defense action. Therefore, you have the same results with 0.2 watts and 3 watts, but at all 4 GSM frequencies. For UTMS frequencies, only a little bit higher. The critical value is between 0.1 and 0.5 watts. This all is proven, replicated many times in different countries. So we know all this information, but nobody reacts. And we only have one border value for all the different frequencies. That would be the same if you would have one speed limit for all the streets, for highways, country roads and city roads. Not logical. I will come back to that slide afterwards one more time. Now if we discuss athermic radiation, that's the same frequencies, extreme low frequencies, than our body communicates inside. And here we do not have the mechanism of power, we do have the mechanism of resonance. That means if I hit the tuning fork in here Another tuning fork which is configured the same way will start to sing over there. And there is no energy arriving from the hit I do over here. So you only have to have the same wavelength and then you make the connection. That means athermic boundary values have to be more than 10,000 times lower than thermic ones. And what scientists also found out, it is very, very important, or the information is much more important than the strength of the signal itself. That means if we change the handling of the information, it can cause that a different SAR value comes into the biological window. But where do these extremely low frequency come from? There are two origins. The first origin is the principle of multiple frequencies inside water. That means for the old signals, the 900 megahertz, if they hit water, they go right through. Additional, they create frequencies in the terahertz area nobody cares about, and frequencies in the hertz area. For instance, here, these 8.3 hertz. And these 8.3 hertz are quite beneath the Schumann frequency of 7.83 hertz. Our body swings internally. And so what happens? Our body tries to catch this frequency. And there's the speech, then you run off your rocker. You do not work properly. All these other frequencies are in the area of the alpha and beta area of the brain waves. And as here the mechanism of resonance is valid, you can imagine what happens. The second source where this low frequency comes from are modulations on the radio frequency. The newer signals are already far away from frequencies we use internally, but these frequencies really cause troubles. These are the basics. So now I come to an article back in 2008. It was the Journal of Preventive Medicine. And there Claude Bertels already described in a very detailed way how this works. If we have a look at this magnetic field. This magnetic field is in the vicinity of our mobile phone. But it's not an harmonized and flat magnetic field. You see these magnetic gradients in here. And these tiny gradients make the big difference. That means these gradients irritate our magnetite crystals in the brain membrane and in the brain cells. When they get irritated, they stop the protein synthesis. But these proteins would be aware of healing minor damages done by the high frequency. And so our body reacts with stress. WAVEEX levels out these gradients and we simulate a natural magnetic field, like the Earth magnetic field. Because if these magnetite crystals would also react on a flat magnetic field, they also must react on the Earth magnetic field, but they do not do it. So this results we saw back then gave the basics for WAVEEX. So WAVEEX is harmonizing these magnetic fields. So the 100% sure facts of WAVEEX, what we can prove with certificates is we smooth these magnetic field gradients, we protect the structure of water, we protect the blood count, and at least the stress level. So you can see we can prove the first thing, leveling out the magnetic field gradients, and the last thing, the body is not reacting with stress anymore. Let's have a look at the different studies. The first study was done by Dr. Walter Medinger, first in 2011, now again in 2014. So that means that we have a proven longevity. WAVEEX works at least for 3 years. Usually it should work forever. And the last measurements already also had been supervised by Bureau Veritas. The next are pictures after the method of Dr. Emoto. Here you can see the reference measurement after 15 minutes phone call without WAVEEX, with WAVEEX. Here we only put a glass of water over an active mobile phone. I don't think I have to explain anymore. The next study was a study measuring the blood count. Here you can see a healthy blood. WAVEEX does not change it. Without WAVEEX it will change. But the amazing thing afterwards is, if you phone with WAVEEX afterwards, WAVEEX turns this blood picture to a better one. Why does this happen? Around these blood bubbles there is a small film of water. And as we had seen in the previous slide, this water information gets destroyed. WAVEEX has the ability to recreate the structure again, and therefore also we can increase the quality of the blood count. Here we go back to 2003, to the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. As you can see, if the water molecules are polarized the right way, plus to minus, then they are allowed to enter the rope and supply the cell with energy. If it is polarized the wrong way, minus to minus, or it has lost the structure, it's not allowed to enter the cell. This again, the cells are not supplied with energy, our body reacts with stress. Here, the last certificate. It's quite a simple measurement with an ECG equipment measuring the heartbeat ratio variability. And so the medical doctors can measure the level of stress. The method was quite simple. First the proband was sitting, then standing, then sitting again. And all the time, when you phoned with WAVEEX afterwards, this reference measurement is blue. Every time when you phoned with WAVEEX afterwards, WAVEEX lowered the stress level. First the stressy one, then the one with WAVEEX. The other way around, both measurements with WAVEEX and without WAVEEX almost brought the same results. How can this happen? Based on the information WAVEEX sends to our body, WAVEEX creates a memory effect inside our organism. That means our organism knows how to treat the circumstances. How long this effect lasts, we did not investigate. So, WAVEEX is a lasting protection against mobile radiation, athermic radiation. The thermic one is already safe. We extend the safety to the biological value. And this around the clock, no matter which device is used or how it is used. And how it is used, please pay attention for carrying it on the body. Because the mobile phones are communicating all the time. Which kind of WAVEEX do we have? We are talking about the WAVEEX technology. And this technology consists of several pieces. The first is WAVEEX for mobile devices. The status sales already started, and nowadays it's a multi-layer chip, but we're already preparing a silicon chip for the future. The second thing is WAVEEX for Wi-Fi routers and DAC station. We found out that the current version of WAVEEX needs more power to handle these units. Therefore, we invented the silicon chip. It's already tested now, and we plan starting the sales with Q3 this year. And then the big brother, at least, WAVEEX for antenna towers. Coming back to this memory effect, it's like smoking and passive smoking. If I use my phone in here, the person just beside me also gets the radiation. What we can do when we equip all the antenna towers, that all our bodies know how to deal with the information. But for sure, then still we have the challenge to flatten the magnetic field. So we need it on both sides of the communication. If we have a final look to our bridge again, WAVEEX can extend the mobile technologies, starting from the end customer to the antenna towers, there are antenna stations, towers. And now let's have a look back on this one foil with the reflex and Verum study. We have seen that with 2 watts, the boundary value of 2 watts, it makes no sense for different frequencies. But we have seen that with 3 or 4 watts, there is no biological window at the time. So let's imagine when WAVEEX, when we equip all the mobile devices and the antenna devices with WAVEEX, and the biological level is safe also, why not to increase the strength of the signal itself? We can go up to 4 watts, it seems not to be any problem. But that would mean we would have the ability to cut away a lot of the antenna towers and to save money there. Important is that WAVEEX really does not touch the mobile devices, the mobile technologies which are now up and running. We are really beyond the borders. We do an additional thing. So, thank you so much for your interest in WAVEEX. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. May I invite you now for a short reception over there. We have prepared something to drink and something to eat. If you have any more questions, we can discuss it over there. Thank you so much and have a nice day. Goodbye.